Birmingham, Alabama, the birthplace of the American Civil Rights Movement. A city with a rich, divisive history and no shortage of political opinion.
We have some of the Trumpiest counties, I guess is the way you'd say it. In general, Alabamians agree with President Trump and don't just support him because he's a Republican, but because they like him as a person.
We are right-leaning as a state. We're very pro-Trump when it comes to the wiregrass. But if you take a look behind you right there, that downtown metropolitan area of Birmingham is very blue.
I worked on Hillary Clinton's campaign a little bit, and so I voted for Hillary Clinton. I was proud to do so.
Birmingham, like much of the country, is polarized. But we're here to see what that division means on the ground. How do people interact with one another? What issues do they talk about at work, at home? And what issues do they avoid? What forces are shaping their worldviews? And what impact does polarization have on people's lives?
In the South, there is a very strong emphasis put on manners and being polite and non-confrontation. So even if I said something that would horribly offend somebody, they would just sort of smile and that's nice, and then it would probably be the end of the conversation.
You shouldn't talk about politics or religion because it's not polite. Presumably, it upsets people. But
and here in the South, we don't like to upset people.
We don't like to upset people to their face.
James Bartholomew is an apprentice at the local 92, an ironworkers union. He spends his days working on major building projects around the region and receives instruction from experts at the union on a weekly basis.
Well, this is a 3/8 test, so
yeah.
We don't have all night.
Alabama has a legal code that is notoriously unfriendly to organized labor, making labor laws an important topic for apprentices and union members alike.
Most of the men and women I work with every day would describe themselves as conservative. But locally, the Democratic nominees usually will side with union, collective bargaining, and the people in the office who deal with these people, they'll push for the candidates who they believe have our best interests in mind.
The director of the apprenticeship program, Thomas Mattis Jr., is a key player in the union's political activities.
Our members pay into a fund, and then we use the money that goes into that fund to help contribute to politicians in the area.
The union endorses candidates from both major political parties. Most at the union seem to agree on the importance of doing what's best for the union and local community over partisan politics.
The union tries to do everything in the best interest of locally and then spread it outward. So we're trying to focus on what makes our community better.
You train at 12?
11:30.
Across town, Wayne Hurd, a recent law school graduate and court advocate, is also focused on what's happening close to home. Wayne helps people who have recently been released from prison at the Dannon Project, a local nonprofit.
Yes, you can do your community service here. You just gotta do it between classes.
It was the possession. Just stay from over the mountain, just use Birmingham Roebuck, that's all you need to do.
Wayne offers legal advice to people like 19-year-old Eric.
They help you turn your life around, they help you get jobs, they teach you job skills. If you need your GED, they help you get your GED. If you have fines or anything, they help you with court, they speak well of you, and then they just help you get everything back in line.
His work with people who have gone through the system has made him passionate about criminal justice reform, something that he and his colleagues talk about regularly.
When we get opportunity to create awareness, then we have to do it grassroots ourselves where we are.
Change won't be from the top down in this situation. It's from the local campaigns, grassroots, from the bottom up.
At home, Wayne follows issues that are important to his family and the community that he serves.
I have the local news on in the background to see what's happening locally. Sometimes my students are on TV. It lets me know, okay, what's traffic gonna be like on both our commutes in? Anything going on around my son's school I need to be aware of. But then also, it gives me some of the national news as well.
Welcome into the Ford Faction Live. I know you have so many options where you can get your news.
Ford Brown is a local radio host.
So don't appropriate any culture today, all right?
Got it.
Yellowhammer News, we call it the true news of Alabama, and it tries to be as nonpartisan as it can down the middle. Obviously, there are some instances where the truth does lean in one way, and so we are Alabama's source for the true conservative news. Kind of funny because a couple years ago nobody said anything about it, but when Trump does it, then all of a sudden, you know, bad guy, bad boy. When national news comes, I think it's all about clicks. I think they get situations, they get people, they get stories to persuade you. Not necessarily brainwashing, I don't want to take it that far, but the separation between the national news and local news has become so massive that's why you look at the national media and it feels so out of touch.
News companies are going under. They can't keep up. They can't get the ratings that you can go on YouTube right now and get 100 million views if it's good content with no production.
James and his girlfriend, Brianna Thorne, find their information almost exclusively online.
I enjoy the few YouTube people that we follow that do news because they give like the facts and then we can take from that what we want. So Philip DeFranco mostly.
Let's just jump into it. And the first thing we're going to talk about is an intro to a story I never expected. Today we need to talk about the EU. To talk about what's happening now and in the next 2 weeks, we need to first jump back to 2016.
Low-budget, high-impact shows like DeFranco's are becoming increasingly popular as some Americans choose to bypass traditional media. For many Alabamians and many Americans, religion is the most powerful force shaping their worldview.
In Alabama, we are a part of the Bible Belt, and Christianity and religion play a big part of our politics down here. Gay marriage, abortion, things like that.
Although the vast majority of Alabamians identify as Christian, and close to half as evangelical, religion remains a topic that people are uncomfortable discussing. John Little Wilson, a successful artist in Birmingham, sees this tension on a regular basis.
People ask, what is my art about? I like for it to have a lot of different possible interpretations. One of which is that the monkeys which I paint are sort of pre-evolutionary and the robots are sort of post. And so it's sort of these bookends of evolution. And to a group of people who take the Bible literally, who don't believe in evolution, that can cause some tension.
My family can be sensitive about religion more because they are like so religious. So I just don't say anything. I've learned my lesson. Like if I want to keep the peace, I just accept what they want because I'm way more open to like listening versus arguing like you like to do sometimes.
Although many families find religion and political issues difficult to discuss, Wayne's family speaks openly when they get together at his grandmother's house.
I'm old enough to know and saw people die before people had the right to vote. That means a lot. I saw people get fire hoses put on their dogs. Voting is very important.
It's
People
not
die
about
for
the
that.
vote. It used to be about the vote, but now it's about being informed who you voting for.
That's correct.
A lot of people end up voting for people they have no idea what these people
Know what their
are stand
platform
for,
is.
what they're gonna do. So if I got someone that's all about the correctional system, and just because they're a Democrat, but they stand for the correctional system, why would I vote for them?
Right.
They have tricked them so bad that they vote one ticket.
Wayne's family is not alone in their frustration with these hyper-partisan times.
Can I try to do it?
As the country becomes more and more divided, those in the middle worry that this tribalism may mean that everyone loses. Yet despite this polarization, the people of Birmingham, like in so many other communities across the country, don't allow the division to become all-consuming.
Now that makes sense.
At the end of the day, I think a lot of people worry about their families, themselves, and they worry about their community. And I think when it comes to being a conservative and being a liberal, those things come first, especially the family and especially yourself.
Like in Birmingham, Americans across the country are navigating the increasingly polarized political landscape by focusing on the people close to home, family, neighbors, colleagues, and friends.